we're still multiplying, but every one of our problems has decimals in them. So let me catch you up real quick. If we were adding and subtracting decimals, we would line our decimals up. When we got to our answer, we would bring our decimals straight down. We're not adding and multiplying today. So you don't do that in multiplication, okay? I'm kind of undoing what I taught you, but we'll be adding and subtracting decimals again, don't worry. So I'm gonna say that again. Is everybody listening to me? Look at me. Adding and subtracting decimals, you do line them up and you do bring them straight down. We're not adding and subtracting today. What are we doing today? Multiplying. You don't line them up and you don't bring them straight down. That's only for adding and subtracting, okay? Say got it. Okay, here's how you're gonna do it. Mark out number 1 and we're gonna start on number 2. If we're multiplying times 10 or 100 or 1,000, we're gonna let our zeros hang off, just like that little trick I showed you before.
Great day for school at CMS. Good morning. Let's all stand, face the flag, and place our hands over our hearts for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now time for the moment of silence. You may choose to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity that does not interfere with others. The moment of silence shall begin now. In the cafeteria today, we will be having cakes in a blanket, mac and cheese, green beans, fruit and milk. Also, tomorrow for Red Ribbon Week is Drugs Can't Find Me, wear camo. If you have a veteran family member that you want to be recognized in the Veterans Day Assembly, please email pictures, names, with branch of the armed forces they were into Miss Huseman. She needs them by November 4th to include in slides. Have a great day at school. Have a Tiger Day.
Okay, so on number 2, here's what we're going to do. We're going to write this number on top, and we're going to multiply times 10, and we're going to let our 0 hang off. So 0.009 times 10, and we're letting our 0 hang off, just like that little trick I showed you. It's a good trick. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring our 0 straight down, and all we're doing now is multiplying times 1s. 1s are easy. Like you'll see today, we pretty much just multiply times 1 all day long. So 1 times 9 would get me 9. 1 times 0 would get me 0. 1 times 0 would get me 0. And 1 times 0 would get me 0. Now, we got to figure out where the decimal goes. So I need to see your eyes up here. Here's where it does not go. It doesn't come straight down. I told you that from the beginning, and I'm going to tell you that again. That's only in what? Adding and subtracting. Are we adding and subtracting today? No, we're multiplying. So I need to see everybody's eyes. You are. Here, everybody's eyes. I want you to find your decimal, make it a little darker. And then you got to sing a little chant with me, okay? And here's how it goes. We're going to go to the right and see how many places to the right of the decimal there are. So here's how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right. Now you do it. To the right, to the right, to the right. So you better have 3 places underlined on your paper. Do you? You better, because that's the way the teacher did it. How many places did I go to the right? 3 places. Now come in here in your answer. Start at the very end in your answer. So if I went to the right 3 places, how many places do you think I'm going to go to the left? 3 places. To the left, to the left, to the left, and that's where your decimal goes. Okay, so now we can get rid of some zeros. Remember when we were working with decimals? Do I really need the 0 on the very end? Do I really need that? No, you can get rid of that. What other zeros could I get rid of? The one in, no, not the one in front of the 9. The ones in front of the decimal I could get rid of. So what's my final answer? No, time out. I heard somebody say 9. This isn't 9. What is this? 0.09. There's your answer. 0.09 is a lot different than 9. What's this in money? What's this in money? 9 cents. What's this in money? $9. That's a big difference. I've got an idea. I'll give you 9 cents, but I'll take your $9. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
That's huge. And it's all because of where the decimal is. Number 3. 3.1 times 10 to the third power. Uh-oh, we got to remember what 10 to the third power is. 10 to the third power would be a 1 with what? 1, 2, 3 zeros. Weren't you writing this? Same thing every day. So on your scrap paper, you should put 3.1 times, what are we multiplying by? What did we say 10 to the third power was? Now watch, I'm going to let those 3 zeros hang off. This is how your paper should look. Yep. Okay, bring those 3 zeros straight down. Now all we're doing is multiplying times 1. 1 times 1 is going to get me 1, and 1 times 3 is going to get me 3. Do not bring the decimal straight down. Instead, find it. Make it darker, and say your little song with me. To the right. That's it. There's only one place this time. So in your answer, go to the left one place, and that's where your decimal goes. And guess what? You really could get rid of that. You don't even need that 0 at the end. So what's my final answer? Look, what's my final answer? Say it. 3,100. It doesn't even have a decimal in the end. Number 3 is 3,100.
So, yeah.
I think we barely even learned about this last year.
Did you? Number 4. 0.062 times 10 to the second power. Boys, I need help. I forgot what 10 to the second power was.
There's one with 2 zeros.
It would be 100, wouldn't it? So here we go. On your scrap paper, 0.062 times 100. And yes, I'm letting my 0 hang off. Of course I am. So what am I going to do with those 2 zeros I let hang off? What am I going to do? Bring them straight down. You better wake up. Bring them straight down. Now what am I going to do? Multiply times what? 1. Well, what's 1 times 2? What's 1 times 6? What's 1 times 0? What's 1 times 0? 0. Now, find your decimal up in your top problem. Find it. Make it darker. Now let's go to the right. Sing it with me. To the right, to the right, to the right. How many rights did I just go? 3. So come over here in your answer. To the left, to the left, to the left. And that's where your decimal goes. Now look, I don't need those in front of that. 6. And what else do I not need? The 0 square.
In the back.
At the very end. So what's my final answer? 6.2. Number 5, 1.24 times 0.01. Now real quick, I gotta tell you something. Something super important. So I need to see your eyes. If I say I need to tell you something super important, that means you need to be looking at me. I just got lucky that that decimal lined up on top of that decimal. I just got lucky. That's not how you're necessarily supposed to do it. The only reason why it's like this is how many digits are here?
3.
How many digits are here?
3.
So 3 digits on top of 3 digits. That's the only reason why that decimal is on top of that decimal. It's not because I lined it up that way. Are you understand what I'm saying? It's 3 digits on top of 3 digits, okay? So here we go. We got to multiply times 1. 1 times 4 is going to get me 4. 1 times 2 is going to get me 2. And 1 times 1 is going to get me 1. Now mark out that 1. Put a placeholder 0. And now what am I going to multiply right here?
0.
Now let's stop for a minute. Okay, I'm going to show you a really good trick. If I multiply times 0, what's 0 times 4 going to get me? What's 0 times 2 going to get me? What's 0 times 1 going to get me? So watch what I'm going to have. Don't write this. Watch what I'm going to have. I'm going to have a whole line of zeros. Then technically, I'm supposed to mark this out and put 2 placeholder zeros. If I multiply this times this, what am I going to get? What if I multiply this times this? What if I multiply this times this? So I'm going to have a whole other line of zeros. What happens if I add 124 with all these zeros? Just going to have what? 124. So guess what? I don't even want to do this.
Too much work.
I don't want to multiply times zeros. I just want to stop right here. Do y'all see why I'm stopping right there? Because I don't want to multiply times all those zeros. So far you should just have 124. Are you tracking with me? That's not your answer. Why? Because I got what right here? I don't have a zero right there. A decimal. What have I got right here? I'm fixing to blow your mind. Make your decimal darker right here. On the top. Go to the right, to the right. Now I'm on the bottom. To the right, to the right. How many rights did I go all together? 2. 2 here and 2 here. How many did I go all together? 4. So get your pencil at the very end of your answer. To the left, to the left. Have I gone enough?
No.
To the left, have I gone enough?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
To the left. Now look what happened. Your paper should look just like mine. But I got this big old gap right here. What do you think needs to go in that big old gap? Huh? A 0. There's your final answer. 0.0124.
This is kind of fun.
It's easy. It's all about where you put your decimal. Number 6, 42.3. Oh, well, this is easy. 42.3 times 1. What's anything times 1?
42.
42.3 right there. Anything times 1 is just itself. So that's easy. Nothing changed there, so there was no reason to write that out. There's a reason to write this out though. 42.3 times 0.1. 0.1. Okay, now look up here again. I just got lucky. Hey, that lined up on top of that. I just got lucky, okay? It's not because I lined the decimals up. I lined them up because those 2 digits needed to go under those 2 digits, okay? I want to make that very clear. So here we go. What would 1 times 3 get me? 3. What's 1 times 2 going to get me? 2. What's 1 times 4 going to get me? 4. What if I multiply times this 0? What am I going to get right here if I multiply that times 0? Just a whole bunch of zeros. So would y'all rather just skip that line? Yeah, me too. Okay, in this top problem, find your decimal. To the right. What about this bottom problem? Find your decimal. To the right. Now how many rights did I go all together? 2. Now in your answer. To the left, and put your decimal there. What's your answer? 4.23. Okay, now I'm on the next one. I'm still on number 6, but I'm on the last one. Now I got 3 digits on top of 3 digits. Look how I wrote mine real quick. I did not line my decimal up. I did not. You shouldn't either. I lined 3 digits on top of 3 digits. Okay, so here we go. All we got to do is multiply times 1. 1 times 3 is going to get me 3. 1 times 2 is going to get me 2. And 1 times 4 is going to get me 4. What about these zeros? What do you want to do with them? Nothing, because wouldn't it just be 2 whole rows of zeros? Okay, so up here, find your decimal. To the right, and this one, find your decimal. To the right, to the right. How many rights did I just go? 3. So in your answer, to the left, to the left, to the left. What's your final answer? 0.423. Real quick, on on number 7. What would 10 to the first power be right there on number 7? Huh?
10.
Huh?
1 with 1 0.
A 1 with 1 0 is just 10. What's 10 to the second power right there?
1 with 2 0.
100. What's 10 to the third power? 1,000. Okay, but I don't really want to do that one necessarily. Pick one, Kiara. I mean, if you want to do number 7, but pick one from 7 to 15.
15.
Number 15. 681.7 times. Now let's think about where we're going to line these up real quick. How many digits are in 0.01?
3.
3. So that means I'm going to start, hey, watch. I'm not kidding. Watch. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start right here under the 8. Okay? 0.01. That's how you should line it up. You line digits on top of digits, not decimals on top of decimals. Okay, now let's multiply times 1. 1 times 7 is going to get me 7. 1 times 1 is going to get me 1. 1 times 8 will get me 8. And 1 times 6 will get me 6. And I'm not going to do these zeros because that would just give me big old lines of zeros. So in this top problem, find your decimal. To the right. Now on the bottom one. To the right, to the right. How many rights did I just go? 3. So in your answer, to the left, to the left, to the left, what's your final answer? 6.817. Now, I feel sorry for some of y'all who aren't really engaging in the lesson because you're fixing to have to do it on your own. And it's not going to be too easy when you do it on your own. Trust me. Your mind gets a little confused. So pick one, Kaden, and this is the last one I'm doing on the front.
13.
13. Well, right off the bat, we need to fix this. Girls, what would 10 to the second power be? 100. Good, Brooklyn. Right off the bat, it's 100. So 0.9463 times 100. And yes, I'm letting my 0 hang off. Of course I am. Okay, y'all are looking at my board. Look, it's right there on your paper. It's literally right there on your paper. All you got to do is copy it from your paper. So now whenever you have these 2 zeros hanging off, just bring them down. Now let's multiply times 1. 1 times 3 is going to get me 3. 1 times 6 is going to get me 6. 1 times 4 is going to get me 4. 1 times 9 is going to get me 9. And 1 times 0 is going to get me 0. Hey, I'm going to make a bad mistake here. I'm going to bring my decimal right down. And let's see if that's the right place for it. Let's just see. Find your decimal up here. Sing it with me. To the right. How many rights did I just go? 4. And your answer. To the left, to the. Hey, I'm fixing to sit down if y'all don't want to do this. To the left, I promise you it works. Did my decimal, where I told you I was making a bad mistake, end up in the right place? No, that's not the right place. Guess what? You don't need that 0 in front. Guess what? You don't need those zeros behind. So what's your final answer to number 13? 4.63. Turn the page. Number 16. Monroe uses a, what does that say right there? Microscope. Y'all know what a microscope is? It's like you have this little piece of glass and it's got like some bug or something on it, or even some cell or something, and you look through these little, cool glasses, and what does it do to the little bug? The little bitty, what does it do? Magnifies it, doesn't it? And enlarges it. And he is observing specimens in science class. We don't know. Maybe it's bugs, maybe it's germs, maybe it's leaves. I don't know. But what does the microscope do? Say this word. Enlarges to what? What does that say right there? 100 times. I think that's important. If you hear 100 times, what do you think you're going to do? Multiply times 100. So it's multiplying times 100 what? Their actual size. So look, right here's their actual size. How am I going to get this? What am I going to do? I'm going to multiply times 100. So here we go. 0.008 times 100. Now bring those two zeros straight down. Now let's multiply times 1. 1 times 8 gets me 8. 1 times 0 gets me 0. 1 times 0 gets me 0. And 1 times 0 gets me 0. Find your decimal. To the right, to the right, to the right. How many rights did I just go? 3. To the left, to the left, to the left. There's your decimal. Did I bring it straight down? No, I did not. The real truth is, you don't need those, and you don't need those. So what's your final answer? 0.8. I'm glad you didn't say 8.
So we got 8 cents left.
That's not 8 cents. If you have a 0 right there, what is that? 80 cents. But we're not even talking about cents. We're talking about the lengths of some kind of specimen. We're talking about lengths. What's cm stand for? Centimeters. So it would be 0.8 centimeters. Okay, Xander, tell me what to do to specimen B. I just did it to specimen A. What did I do? What do I have to do? Tell me what to write.
0.011 times
100. Good. Here we go. Talk me through it, Mr. Maitland. Is that how you say your last name? Maitland? Be my teacher, Mr. Maitland. What do I do?
Put the 2 zeros down.
Yep. Bring those two zeros straight down. Good job. Keep going.
And then you put the 1 down.
Well, you mean multiply 1 times 1? That's what you should have said. Keep going.
Then you multiply 1 minus 1. 1 times 0.
And I know I bring my decimal straight down. Is that right, Mr. Maitland? Oh, Mr. Maitland says I bring my decimal straight down. Do y'all agree with him? No, you don't bring your decimal straight down. Instead, you find your decimal up here and you sing to the right, to the right, to the right. Now what do I do? To the left, to the left, to the left. Is that bringing my decimal straight down?
No.
Absolutely not. Get rid of the zeros in front. Get rid of the zeros behind. And what's your final answer? 1.1. Kiara, I need your help on specimen C. Tell me what to do.
You will be writing down 0.
Tell me what to write.
0.0025.
0.0025.
And then you will be putting down 1, multiply 100.
Multiply it times 100. Okay, everybody do that real quick. And then we'll see what Kiara gets. Make sure you put your decimal in the right place. Give me a thumbs up when you get your answer. Okay, Kiara, what'd you get?
0.2500.
But you don't need all those zeros. So take away some zeros and tell me just what you need. 0.25? 0.25? Do y'all agree with 0.25? The only zero that I would be okay with is if you have the 0 in front. If you like that 0, I'm okay with that. But I don't want 0.25000. I don't want all that. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with it. Okay, Mr. Eric, I need your help on specimen D. Tell me what to write.
0.0004.
.004 times 100. Work that out. And let's see if Eric gets the right answer. And what'd you get, Mr. Eric? 0.4. Who agrees with 0.4? Y'all agree with 0.4? Okay. Now, if you want to put a 0 in front of that, I'm okay with that. But if you don't, I'm okay with that too. Okay. Number 17. Monroe's teacher wants each student to draw a sketch of the, what does this say right here? Longest, not largest, longest. Underline that, longest. What specimen is the longest? Well, if I were you, I would probably look at the actual length column, okay? So find the actual length column. And here's what I think. I think it has to be letter C because that has more digits. So I'm going to put letter C right there. That has to be the longest. Yes?
It's actually B.
What? Say that again, Mrs. Kiara. What? You're saying the teacher did something wrong? What?
Because there's a number in front of a decimal.
I disagree with you a little bit, but I tricked every one of y'all. It has nothing to do with the amount of digits, because what can I do to this? What can I do to it? Add as many zeros as I need to. So I tricked every one of y'all. Y'all better wake up, okay? This is what you should have done. Drawn a line through every one of these. What do you know about 0, 0, 0, 0? What do you know about them?
They're the same.
They're the same. Come on, wake up. I'm not kidding. Everybody. What do you know about 0, 0, 0, 0? Did you draw lines through them like I asked you to do? No, you're sitting there not doing it. And I don't understand, and I literally just tricked every person on this. Have you drawn lines through every one of them? Okay, next. 0, 1, 0, 0. What do you know about that? 1 is bigger. So what letter is that? Specimen B. So I agreed with your letter, but I didn't agree with how you got it, Kiara. Okay, well, you can give me angry eyes all you want, but I agreed with your answer, but I didn't agree with how you got it. So that's where you should have gone, oh, okay, I understand. Letter 18, instead of getting attitude. Number 18, seen through the microscope, a specimen is 0.7 centimeters long. What is its actual length? Let's go back through this. What does it say right here? Seen what? Through the microscope. What column over here is seen through the microscope?
The third.
The last one, so you need to put this right here. Look what they did. They gave us the final answer. Get your pencil on what? What do they want? What is its what? Actual length. They want this. We were used to going from here to here. Now they're wanting you to go backwards. Well, let's look at letter C, just real quick. It was 0.0025. We ended up at 0.25. What did we do with the decimal? The decimal was here. Now it landed in front of the what? 2. No, not in front of the 5. The decimal's not in front of the 5. Where's the decimal right now? In front of the 2. The decimal was right here. Where did the decimal end now? In front of the 4. So now where would this go? Backwards to the same exact location that these decimals were at the beginning. Who can tell me how to go backwards? What do you think the answer would be?
0.0075.
Okay, now how'd you get that?
Because I went backwards.
How many places? You can't just tell me backwards.
I went backwards 5 places.
5 places? Okay, this was your answer. This was your answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, wait,
Is that the answer you gave me?
no.
No? Then I don't agree.
It was 2.
What?
It was 2.
He went backwards 2 places. Let's see if this makes sense. This right here, what that decimal is right here. To go back to its original place, how many places did he go back? 2. The decimal we said was in front of the 4. To go back to its original places, how many places did we go? 2. So do you agree that if the decimal is right here, to go back 2 places, it lands right there? Do you agree with that? Yeah. I didn't agree with the 5. I don't know where you got that. Okay, let's keep going. Number 12, John's binoculars. Enlarge objects not 100 times, but
10 times.
10 times. That's important information. The length of the ant is 0.43 inches. What's its length as seen through the binoculars? I'm enlarging it 10 times. So what am I going to do, Hope? We literally just did it times 100. Now we're going to do it 10 times.
We're gonna do 0.45.
Not 45.
Or no, 43.
43.
Times 10.
Yep, times 10. Okay, work that on in your paper and let's see what Hope gets. When you get an answer, this is in inches, so put IN after it. What'd you get, sister?
4.3.
4.3. Do y'all agree with 4.3? Make sure you have inches at the end of it. Number 20. Oh, Jefferson. What'd Jefferson do? He drew a line, what does this say right here? 9.5 inches. I think that's important. But what did Brittany do? Brittany drew a line, 10 times as long. So what's the first thing we have to do? Multiply what? Tell me.
9.5
Times 10. That's the first thing we have to do is multiply 9.5 times 10 and let your 0 hang off. So bring that 0 straight down. 1 times 5 is 5 and 1 times 9 is 9. Find your decimal. Go to the right, and in your answer, go to the left. Uh-oh, you don't need that 0. So how long was Brittany's line? 95. So come over by Brittany and put 95 inches. Okay, now I'm on what? I see a huge keyword. What does that say? Difference. Luke, help me. What does difference mean to do?
What is the opposite?
Nope. What does difference mean, Colin? Subtract. Here we go. 95 minus, how long was Jefferson's?
9.5.
Uh-oh. His has a decimal, but Brittany's doesn't have a decimal. What should I do to Brittany's? How do I make hers have a decimal? Tell me.
Decimal 0.
Yeah. That's Brittany now. And Jefferson is 9.5. And yes, I line up my decimals this time because I'm subtracting. Can you say 0 minus 5, class? No. What does my 5 become? 4. What does my 0 become? 10. What's 10 minus 5? 5. What do I do with my decimal if I'm subtracting? Bring it straight down. Colin knows. Can I say 4 minus 9? No. What does my 9 become? 8. What does my 4 become?
14.
Slap your leg on 9 and count up to 14. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What'd you get? 5. And 8. There's your difference. And I guess it's inches. Yep, it's inches. 85.5. Number 21, Jose. He ran 2.6 miles. Pavel ran 2.60 miles. Who ran the farthest? Well, it's obviously Pavel.
No, it's
1, 2, 3 digits. 1, 2 digits.
it's strong.
You can still add a 0.
Yeah.
What? You mean I could add a 0 here?
Yeah.
Or I could do what to this?
Minus.
Take 1 away. So it's not Pavel? What? It's both. Neither one. They both ran the same. They're equal. Good. Thought I could trick y'all. Some of y'all I did trick. It's scary.
I didn't.
If y'all knew that, if y'all were going to write Pavel there, then you're not paying attention.
I need to start a
Okay, I'm not doing all these with you, but I'll do some of them. And pay attention to the word all. On number 22, if it says choose all equations, what does that mean? There's more than one answer, isn't there? So here we go, 4.82 times 1,000, and let those 3 zeros hang off. Now bring those 3 zeros straight down. And now let's multiply times 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 8 is 8. And 1 times 4 is 4. Now find your decimal. Sing it with me. To the right, to the right. Now in your answer. To the left, to the left. What do you know about those zeros on the very end? You don't need them. So what's my final answer? What is this number right here? 4,820. Is that 4,820 right there?
No.
Somebody said yeah.
No.
What number is that?
480.
482,000. Is that 482,000? No, that's what? 4,820. Do not mark the first square. Do not mark the first square. Next, 4.82 times, what's 10 to the second power? 100. Mark this out and put 100 right there if you have to. Well, bring those zeros straight down. Your 1 times 2 is going to get you 2. 1 times 8 is going to get you 8. And 1 times 4 is going to get you 4. Now find your decimal. How many places to the right am I going to have to go? 2. How many places to the left am I going to have to go then? 2. What's my final answer?
482.
Why, I thought it was 482.00. That's not right. That doesn't have the same as that, so don't mark that.
You can minus the zero.
What? I could get rid of those zeros? Is that what you were going to say? You're right. So is 482 482?
Yes.
Yes, then wake up. I'm trying to trick you. It is the same. Okay, now let's fix these exponents real quick because I'm not doing the rest of these. What's 10 to the first power? 10. What's 10 to the third power? 1,000. What's 10 to the fourth power? 10,000. Okay. Now you've got to do these last 3. In fact, why don't you do something like this so you know you have to do those last 3. Okay, on 23, look, choose all equations. All equations means there's more than one answer. 37 times 0.01. 37 times 0.01. Well, all we really have to do is multiply times 1. What's 1 times 7? 7. 1 times 3 is 3. Find your decimal. How many to the rights, to the rights, to the rights do we need to go? 2. So find your answer. How many to the lefts do you have to go? 2. 0.37. They have 0.37. That's not the same answer. Do not put an X there. What? It is the same answer? I can put a 0 there? You're right. It's about time y'all woke up. So that is correct. That is correct. And last one I'm doing. 0.37 times 0.1. Notice I did not line up my decimals. Xander, why aren't you writing this? I did not line up my decimals. Okay, real quick, freeze. Real quick, freeze and look. These 2 digits had to go under these 2 digits. That decimal does not have to go under that decimal. Are you tracking with me? Because that gets kids all confused. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. Find your decimal on the top. How many to the rights do I have on the top? Uh-oh, I got another decimal though. How many to the rights do I have on the bottom? 1. How many all together? 3. To the left, to the left, to the left. What's my answer? No. 0.037. Is that 0.037? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now you probably need to do this little squiggly line so you know you need to do those last 3. So you have some on the front and some on the back, okay? You don't have a whole lot of time, not gonna lie. Go.